Just gonna hold my fake microphone in my hand.
Yes, I do love that you do that.
Yes, you do. Can I be honest with you? Can I speak my truth?
I would love that. Yes, please
I
speak your truth.
love it when you give me compliments. It makes me very, very happy.
I love to give you compliments because you're the
I,
best.
I love to give you compliments. You're the best.
No, but I do love that our viewers probably don't know that you're just holding a remote, and
Yep.
that's
And then
hilarious to me.
I think sometimes I changed it from this one, so I went with the obviously
I
better
almost
remote.
said something. I was like, it's not the white one.
No, I'm all inclusive here. Okay, so all right, so we're just gonna roll right into the episode. I don't know when we'll start it, but welcome to the episode. And I'm gonna tell you, I would love to talk about. So I did something super crazy. Well, not super. I'd say it's super crazy. It's not super crazy. It's actually very normal, and everyone should do it. But I went to therapy for the first time ever, and it was great. I had a great experience. I had a great experience.
We're
It was
very proud of you.
wonderful. Um, the one of the so like it was just nice to like it was like obviously the like introductory like you know thing, so it's like a lot of like feeling out and like just basic questions kind of thing. But um one of the funny things was I um oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so she was like, oh, so I talked about like my, I guess, journey as like our journey as parents, me and Rachel, like like how we have two biological kids, and then like through our church that we were attending, like they were kind of big into foster care, and that's kind of how we started fostering and all that stuff. And so she was like later on in the conversation, she was like, oh well, like obviously, like you went to like it's like I assume since you were talking about church, like obviously you're a Christian. And I was like, so like off the bat, I was like, yeah, like I am. And then like I kind of thought about it and I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be like,
Did you
so
forget?
well, yeah. So I was just like, well, and then like, well, it was funny because she had like kind of like just kind of ran past it, like, like it was very like matter of fact, like, hey, like obviously you went to church and you talked about, this and that. And then I was like, well, I've actually, I was like, that's kind of something that I'm dealing with is like a lot of like deconstruction stuff and, just how I've definitely changed my parenting 180 degrees from like the biological kids because of like I was telling her that, like we used to just do a lot of things that we thought were biblical, like as far as like discipline and spanking
Yep.
and stuff like that with our biological kids who are 13 and 11. So like they're obviously a lot older. And then now we have a 6 and a 3 year old, and we parent them. Well, I was like, we had to parent them differently. And I think that's probably
Hmm.
where like a lot of that started is like when we, because like obviously the state doesn't want you. And I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. So I'll wrap it up real quick. But
No, no,
um,
keep going. You're good.
so I was like, like obviously the state doesn't, the government's like, hey, we're going to give you these children. They are not yours. You cannot like do not touch them physically. And they're like, we understand that like we're in the Bible Belt and like that's how a lot of people raise their kids, but like under no circumstances are you allowed to hit these children because they are not yours. They are property of the state, and you know all bad. Don't ever. So like obviously we're like, okay, well obviously we're not going to do that. So like that led to us learning how to parent. I think without that, I don't know if crutch is the right word, but like that, um, just kind of that like last line of
I think crutch
defense,
is a
maybe.
fine word for it.
Yeah, okay, let's go with crutch. So like we had to like, oh, like how can we like process these emotions that you're feeling and like all that stuff. And like we took a
Hmm.
lot of classes on that. And it's like, and like learning that the kid's brain can't recognize the difference between like a spanking and like a like horrific, violent, like horrible thing that would happen to a kid. Where if like that happened to them, they'd be like, well, yeah, like they've been traumatized, they've been through like
Hmm.
this PTSD thing. Like the brain can't recognize like, oh, like this is because of like correction or like it's just the brain's like, no, you need to like fight or flight. Like this is a very traumatic thing. So like going through that whole process, and I was like, well, since we did that, we had to just parent them obviously a lot different, and that just led to other questions. And so, and that's she's like, oh well, like I'm glad you told me that. Like that's like it's so basically I was just like, yeah, I'm just basically looking for truth instead of blindly obeying what I've been told for my life. And I think she's like, yeah, like that's kind of what that's kind of the whole point of life. Like what is, and I was like, there's obviously subjective truth and objective truth. So I'm just trying to figure out like what that is for myself, my kids, like just, and I just, oh, and like I kind of ended it with like, I just want them, my kids being to know like just giving them like a ton of information and letting them make with all the information they have and all when they can really start like understanding like super complex things and like still that like I don't understand, but like once they can kind of make those decisions for themselves, I think that's what we're supposed to do as parents. So a long intro, but that's kind of what I had going on this week, and I think I learned a lot, and I'm excited to do it again.
Well, that's great, and we're super happy for you for making that step. Yeah, me and Hannah have been doing the ther Hannah's been probably doing it for 5 or 6 years now. Just kind of on and off with different people. I've been going for probably about 2 years now. Me and Hannah started with couples counseling, but yeah, that's great that you're going. I found it to be helpful with the deconstruction because it's hard to find anybody to talk to like in your immediate circle when you're the only one going through that. Because
Hmm.
when you're raised Christian your entire life and in church and everything, they tell you basically don't go outside your circle. So pretty much everybody that I know is family who are all Christian and Christian friends who I've met at church and different churches and different church organizations. And so it's hard to find any kind of support or a way to talk about that when nobody else is going through that at the same time. It's tough to go to somebody and be like, I don't know if I believe this stuff anymore. And they're like, well, you're going to hell.
Right. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh,
All
right.
right.
Well, so yeah, you learn to just like, and that's what like I was actually like talking with Rachel about that earlier. Just like, it's funny how like I think there's very few people that there's a lot of people that know, I guess, like the kind of masked or different versions of ourselves that aren't really, I guess, you can't be like your whole self to like a ton of people. So like when
Hmm.
you do meet those people, or like when you do get to like have that, I guess, special connection with like a few people, it's like, oh, okay, like I can actually like be my authentic self. And I think, because like I think if you do that with other people that um don't agree with where you're going kind of directionally, it's like kind of no point to do that. It's like they're like you're just kind of both in this like trench warfare. Like I'm over here, you're over here, and like there's just very basic things that we disagree on, and
Hmm.
that just like it's like okay, well let's just talk about something else, the weather or
Yeah.
sports or anything like that.
Yeah. Like you and Rachel were my kind of like dipping the toe in the water, I guess, because it's like I feel comfortable talking about them or talking to them about everything. So
Hmm.
regardless of whether they agree with me, I didn't think y'all were gonna like jump down my throat about it or anything. And so now like, more like friends and like people at work or, I have a podcast about it. So they kind of know what's going on and I've
Right.
talked to some of them, but it's just I find it difficult to figure out how to have those conversations with other people, at work, like if they talk about anything biblical, and I have, you know, a good amount of biblical knowledge. So like, and I don't want to just be the guy that's like, actually, and then just corrects everything they say. So
Right. You don't want to be
I've
Oscar
kind
from
of,
The Office. You don't want to be actually guy.
yeah, basically. And so I've tried to not be that guy, but because like I've got a friend at work that he's trying to be more Christian and read the Bible more. And I think that he's a genuinely like really good person and he's trying to
Mhm.
better himself. And so I don't want to discourage that. So I try and give him encouraging things about the Bible. And then there's a couple of white nationalists at work that try and use the Bible to be hateful towards other people. So then I'm like, actually,
Right. Yeah.
you shouldn't do that. Here's why.
Right. No, but but like, isn't that crazy that like, I think, and again, going on this whole deconstruction journey is like, you have people that are actually, I think, like they're good people. Like they want to do good things and they want to help others. And they use the Bible as like, okay, like there's a lot of good things, or there's good things in there that we can like model like after, like be,
Hmm.
good. Like you can kind of cherry pick and like, this is kind of how I want to model my life. Just be a good person, be nice to others, love everyone, that kind of thing. Like, and that's great. Like, if that is what works for you, I think that is awesome. Like, be a good person. But then you
Yes.
said, at the
Yeah,
other
there are
hand,
definitely good messages defined in the Bible.
correct. And there are other people who are have very sinister motives, and they're like, hey, we can also use this same exact book and twist
Yeah.
it in a way, or like, hey, there's this one, the translation or passage that we can kind of twist the words on, like whatever, like, and bend it to our really, really, really bad agenda. And
Yeah.
I think that that's crazy that you can have this, but I think that's if it if the Bible and like the word and everything, or the religion, just Christianity, I think in general, was as good as I think what I was taught growing up, then I don't think you could use it to be a part of something so evil, I guess. And like so easily
Hmm.
twisted to where it could be used to hurt and target minority groups, women, all these other things. It's like if it was this perfect word spoken by a perfect God, then I don't think he would allow for misinterpretation of a text that says, yeah, like you don't have to be nice, like you be nice to everyone, like except gay people or except slaves or except women,
Yeah.
or like, so I
Whoever
think
you've decided you want it to say to not be nice to.
exactly, like there's so many groups that are like, yeah, like you kind of like, yeah, so it is. I think that's wasn't like one of the early things that like I came across, like, well, yeah, like this is the same book that all these people are using, and you can definitely use it for good, but like you
Yeah.
can 100% turn it around and use it for really bad things.
And people did for a long time, like old, like slave owners, they used the Bible to say that just read the Bible. God loves slavery. It's okay to do
Yeah,
that.
and they are correct. The Bible does not
Yeah, it
condemn
says it.
slavery, and that's, I, you know, again, one of the other things that seems so obvious now on this side of things is like knowing, like, today, like, not today slavery is wrong, like it's always been wrong. It's never been like, oh,
Yeah.
like it used to be, and like there was these excuses of like, oh, different times, and or like they weren't
Hmm.
really that like whatever the excuse is, like it's always been wrong. It's just now it's considered wrong, but it's like, no, it's always. So like, why would a text say, hey, it's like okay back then, but
Hmm.
it that makes no sense. It's insane.
Yeah, I had a talk with a guy because like, the Christians like to say, God never changes because they want to say the Bible says gay people are bad. So and God doesn't change, so we can't change our views in society to say that homosexuals are not bad. And so, they say God never changes and his word stays the same. And I'm like, so I told a guy I was talking to online, I was like, okay, God says slavery is good in the Bible. So is God lying? Has God changed? Does God still think slavery is okay? Or did the Bible say something wrong? Because
Yeah, it's
they can't all be correct.
correct. So what did he say? Did he say he's like, no, they're all true. Like it's all like,
It basically came down to he's praying for me and I need to read it in
well, yeah,
context. And
that's true. You don't take yeah, don't take it out of context.
yeah, God loves everyone and he wants everyone. And
That's true. He does. And um I know it when you said like, oh, it's just, he loves everyone, and then I thought of that one thing with like I can't it was it the I can't remember what sect or what like part of Christianity says that like there's only like a certain number of people that get into heaven, like a certain number
mhm.
of people, and it's like when you're like, oh, God loves
I think
everyone
that's the
except
Jehovah's Witness
yes,
with the 144,000.
yes, the chosen, yeah, and it's like, well, I like when I heard, I was like, well, I'm definitely not one of the best 140,000 people that's ever lived. Like that's a lot. Like there's no way I'm a part of that. So like,
Yeah, mathematically, it's a really discouraging
it's
viewpoint to have.
it is crazy that they. I mean, shout out, do your thing, Jehovah's Witnesses. But like, that's a crazy pitch. Like, hey, we're only accepting this many people, and like we believe it and we know it, and it's like we're not disputing that. And it's like, you think you could be one of those guys? Like you'd have there's
Statistically, no.
no there's I mean I don't know when it started, but I mean
There's
that's
been
a
lots
tough
of people.
sell.
If we're not already there,
They're hitting the streets hard though. Like they are not. I guess their
like just based
recruitment
on those
numbers are good.
numbers, just the two of you that are at my door are not getting in.
I know, right? And it's like, well, people let them in, which is crazy. Also, I know I can't remember if we told you this on Thanksgiving or whenever it was, but like I think we talked about it, but how we don't answer, or not we. I say we, it's just me. I have anxiety and just I don't like talking to people at the house because whoever comes to the house, if you knock on the door or ring the doorbell, I'm like, well, if it's you and Hannah, you could just come in because it's usually unlocked and you probably know the code to the house anyway. Or like if it could be Rachel or the kids, and like if you know the code to the house, just come in. Like don't knock. I don't want to talk to you if you don't
Mhm.
know the code to the house. Like just I don't need. There's no reason for us to talk ever. So so like people will come to our door and our shades are all down anyway because like so our shades are down, and so like I'll peek outside to like I'm like, oh my gosh, there's someone at the door, but I don't, and they'll just keep ringing the door, and like the kids are all or, like I think it was a situation where like oh I think maybe it was during Thanksgiving break because all the kids because Maddox and Grayson were and we're all just like they're not going away. They've knocked like 6 or 7 times, and I was like, well, just don't answer the door. I mean, I'm not going to answer it. Like, eventually they'll leave. Like, I know because
Yeah,
Grace,
we'll die
they're all,
here.
they're like, hey, be quiet. And like, they can definitely hear us, like, trying to not be loud. And it's, that's, that's an issue. Like, that's something I'll come up and talk about in my second therapy appointment is why do I not like answering the door ever? Um, so, but yeah, it's just weird that people are like, yeah, just come on inside. Like, do you want some coffee or tea? Have a sit. Have a sit on like to have people, strangers, come into your home where like, hey, I'm gonna pitch you something is wild. That they would just say, come into my house, sit on
Yeah,
my
please,
couch.
please come in and make me uncomfortable for a half hour. I'd love that.
But do people not get uncomfortable? Because people do it. People's like, oh yes, come in, please. Like that sounds like. I mean, I don't know what people do to get like to tortured things out of like you know prisoners of war, but that would be I would be like I'd crack. I'd be like, no, I will tell you what you want to know. Do not do this to me.
If they were just like, we're gonna come to your house if you don't tell us right now.
Oh my God. I will. Yes, here. I'll tell you. Well, yeah, you better tell them, or you could get exploded by a missile just for, fishing off the shores of countries that you live in. So you definitely don't want to upset anybody there, which is crazy. So like I'm sure I don't know if have you seen all that stuff that's going on like with you have not the
I've
missile.
not. I'll try not to pay attention anymore because that guy said a mean comment on our TikTok.
He
And so
did.
now we can't talk about anything
Well,
because
I'm not going to talk about that at all because I don't want to offend anyone on the internet. So we apologize.
it's been one guy so far, but he
It
was
has been.
angry.
He was angry, and we're all just about love and peace, and we're not here to upset anyone. We're just here to have just the most wonderful time.
I'm sad because I feel like he thinks he like shut down our podcast because we didn't get to do an episode last week because
Yep,
we both
he's
had a lot going on with school being out. So
hmm
I think he thinks that like I
he's
fucking shut it down.
I did it. So do you think they might just go around and say they're trying to just shut down all the podcasts and he'll have to come back and you know. But hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Like Colin Cowherd says, wherever you are and however you're listening, thank you for listening. I
Thank
don't
you
know if
for
that's
listening.
trademark, but if it is, we'll get our legal team to fight the people at Fox Sports One. If that's where he is,
Well,
I don't know.
Hannah's an accountant, so she can do it.
Oh my gosh, yes, she's versed in legal matters. She could defend us. Okay,
What
could
if me and you go to toe to toe in bird law and see who comes out the victor?
okay, boilerplates aside, we'll get to our hot plates. God, that is one of my favorite ones of It's Always Sunny. I love that episode so
Anything
much.
with the lawyer in it
Oh my God,
is
it's so
amazing.
good. That's why clearly he hates his wife because his picture is turned away from him. Oh my God, he's the best. I love him. Okay, hypothetical. So could Hannah defend us in a court of law? Would we be able to not be sentenced with to whatever we were sentenced with?
It depends on how much the judge is swayed by tears as an argument,
Okay. Well,
because she will just cry.
I think that's very effective.
It could be.
It could be. I think.
She argues until she feels the need to cry, and it happens pretty soon.
Does it change your mind when it might happen if y'all are having a debate or conversation?
Ah, see, that is something that I am working on in therapy
Okay.
because some of my childhood trauma, I guess, I don't like to call
hmm
it that because I had probably better childhoods than most, but there's some stuff there.
hmm
But yeah, some of my stuff is that it's just made me very analytical about people's motives.
mm
And I tend to find the worst
hmm
motive. And so when we're arguing and my like fight or flight kind of kicks in, I
hmm
just go ultra analytical. And so when Hannah starts crying and she's 100% not doing this, but I see it as, oh, she's trying to manipulate me right now.
hmm
So that's bad and she shouldn't do that. And that's not what she's doing. She just is
Right.
an emotional person and cries at
Yeah.
most emotions.
Right. No,
But just at the time that's what my brain is doing. And so I'm working through that because me and her have talked about that and she's like, I just wish you could see me more as just like your wife who you love and who loves you and not as
hmm
someone that's trying to get one over on you.
Yeah.
And
No,
I'm like, that's fair. So we're working on that.
I totally get that because that is definitely something that we talked about in my session was that like there are like you talked about I think your childhood and stuff, and like I kind of went through that with her, and she was saying that even like you know what things that happen to us as kids, like we don't fully recognize them as trauma or like bad or anything like that, but it definitely, she said, like leaves, there's just like little, it's like you're making pottery or something, and it's just like, it's like, oh yeah, like that's a vase, like you can tell it's a vase, it's a vase, it
Hmm.
looks like a vase, and it's like, the closer you get, like, hey, there's like little cracks, and there's just little, like, it doesn't break the vase, there's just like little cracks, and like it's just like a handmade vase, so there's going to be imperfections and cracks and little crevices and like dents and stuff, like, and she's like, that's always like a part of the vase, like, you're just, it's so, because like there was stuff with me, like there's um just like, yeah, like how you view a situation is not actually what the situation is, like you just like, hey, this, there's this crack that like is a part of something that happened earlier, and it's just how I view the world now, and it's how I view this
Hmm.
argument or this relationship or whatever. And it's definitely a thing that, like, yeah, like that, your reality is it's different because you have this like, you know crack in your, just kind of your, I guess, your viewpoint of the world and how you view like each situation. So I think that's you, I definitely see you there because I have, I think, the same thing that I'm dealing with, and just how you were raised and how that'll change yourself as an adult. And you didn't know it until you go to therapy or like talk about it, or, just realize that it's there. So
Yeah, and
kudos
it's
to you.
a like it developed as just like a very good, honestly, just defense mechanism. And it's annoying to go through life with because like it does kick into like hyperdrive during like arguments and stuff, but
Mhm.
just that analytical thought of why is this person doing what they're doing is there pretty much 24/7 and it's with everybody. So it's weird going through life with that where just no matter what anybody does, I'm like, they're probably doing that because this reason.
Yeah. No,
So that's something we're working on.
well, I love that you're as it's just, it's good that you're working and I'm working, and I think if you're working on it, then you're going in the right direction. So I think kudos,
Hopefully.
hopefully, definitely. Yes, we are doing amazing, and we've never done anything wrong in our lives. So I'm glad that we
Yes,
can both
yes,
say
that's the
that.
main point.
That's the main point and the main takeaway from this episode. So that's good.
The
Uh,
worst part is when my therapist is saying something I don't like, and I'm just like,
don't.
there's a reason you're telling me that, and it's bad, and I don't have to listen to that.
That is, um, I do, shout out my therapist. She left for like 7 minutes. She's like, you remember that one episode we did, and I just couldn't stop coughing. I was dying, and I was just
I
like, oh my
do.
God, I don't know if I'm going to make it. She had an episode like that, and she was like, oh my God, I have to go get some water. And it was gone for just the longest time. And it was like a virtual thing. So it's like, I don't know how long I have to wait here, but it's taking a while and I don't know what to do. So then I was just like looking at myself in the camera, and I was like, what am I doing? This is insane. Do I stay? Do I go?
No, just when she comes back, where you're like, I think this is a great time to bring up my fear of abandonment issues.
It's just like, let me suck down some water first. Jeez, Josh, unpack so many problems. It's only a 55-minute session.
No.
Oh
So
my gosh.
speaking of all of your
Yes.
family trauma, did you
Tell me.
see your family over Thanksgiving at all?
We did not. We usually don't
That's
though, so it's
amazing.
not it's not like a weird thing that we didn't, because I think, I mean, from very early on, I think when me and Rachel started dating, like, I guess when we maybe we first got married, we did like we would never go over there for Thanksgiving Day. It was always like at Mama's. We would just spend the whole day there. And then like sometimes we do like a Wednesday thing with like my aunt or something, but like it's
Mm.
not like a big thing. So like it wasn't that weird that we didn't see them. So I did but
Well,
yeah,
that sounds lovely.
um did you see I know we did get together with Mama and it was a great time. That was shout out Mama. We love you so much. You're wonderful.
Yes, Memo's the best. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird being
Yeah.
around family after deconstructing and then especially being around my parents with all that's happened there and continues to happen. But yeah, we're dealing with all that. I don't know, it's because, they're all still the church-going Christian people that would hate everything that we say on this podcast.
Mhm.
So it's weird being over there. Like I remember, like you talked about objective and subjective morality earlier, and I remember a talk that Papa had with Andrew where he was like, "Just remember, there's one set of morals out there that everybody has to go by." And
Hmm.
me and you both were just silent for a second. He was like, "Right, there's one
Right?
thing." I'm
Yep.
like, well,
Right.
it's complicated."
It's complicated. I know it all, and it does like shout out Andrew. God, that kid is so great. I love that kid so much. He's of the four, he's one of the four that I love. He is a wonderful child, and I love him so much. But we were burning things. Romo, what's up, bud? God, it's a good looking dog.
Oh, well,
Shout out Romo, beautiful
good
dog.
boy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were burning papers out in like the um making a fire or something outside, and I was like, "Oh, do you need this paper? It looks like it's for school." So I like open it up, and he's like, "Oh no, we took a test. I'm done," or quiz or something. And it was like the world religion thing, and he had to like write out like a couple sentences about, Christianity, Hinduism, whatever, all the things, like 10 of the top religions. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like learning about different religions. Like, did you see one that was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. Like that made a lot of sense." And he's like, "Yeah, Christianity, what we are." And I was like,
Nailed it.
yes, 100%.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh yeah, that one is they do they do some good things." So that is good. Um,
Yeah, fun fact about that, it's the only one that has any good points.
the only one, even though there's just so many. There's there's so many, and if you were born maybe just, 3,000 miles to the right or left, you wouldn't believe that at all. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But good for him for finding
I'm glad.
his religion. That's what he needed.
Yes, that is what he needed. And that is good for him. And I will support him in whatever he does.
So
Because I'm
him
a,
and Papa are going to have good talks about the morality of the Bible.
yes. Um, yeah, that was, I had, oh, that is as,
This hiding our
in
elves.
hiding the elves. We just hit our elves. We were slightly behind in our elf hiding because I think they're supposed to come like December 1st or day after, like we were a couple days late,
Yeah.
and I think the kids were like, "When are the elves coming?" I was like, "Oh, they must be so busy at the moment." So this is our second night doing it. So they were just, oh, and
Okay,
then
well that's great.
yeah, they rode with us. Grayson wanted to bring them in the car as we picked up everybody from school. So she loved that. She's like, "Oh my gosh." Oh, and then Maddox had a friend at school today say like, "Hey, Santa and the elves are not real." And he's like, "They are
Oh,
real. They came to my house today. Like I saw them. They're here. It's real." And I was like, "You're right. Like they came today. They're real." So, um, yeah.
no, me and Hannah had a talk, I guess like probably a month and a half ago or so, about when to break the news to Silas.
Hmm.
And so I think we kind of settled on we'll get I said never. But I think we settled on we're gonna get through this Christmas and not ruin Christmas right when it is
Right,
here,
yeah, that's a
and
yeah.
then talk about it at some point next year.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe we haven't settled on that. I'm getting a
Well,
look.
I don't know. I have brought this up too. Like Rachel thinks that our older kids know, but then I think, but like I don't want to like ask them. Like they're very like Andrew's
Yeah,
13. Like I think he knows. Like I'm.
it's suspicious to ask.
It's suspicious because you don't want to be like, he's not real, right? And he'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking? What?" Like I'm like, "Oh, I thought you knew." Like you're third. Like I thought because like Charlie was actually the one that asked about the elves. She's like, "When are the elves? Like why are the elves not here?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, like they're." Must be busy at the. I was like, this is weird. You're 11. How do you? It was strange. So I don't know what to do
See,
with that
Silas is
information.
aware that the elves aren't real, but to him it's just a
Mm,
fun thing that
that we did
him
right.
and his mom do, where she hides elves and they play like it's magic and they have fun with it. But
Yes.
Hannah's sad that it's not magic to him, but he just has a good time with the
Yeah.
elves. But like he asked us about Santa a couple of weeks ago, just kind of out of the blue, and we were like, was like, "Did you tell him?" I was like,
Right.
"No, I didn't say
Nope.
anything."
I
But
did not.
he asked about it, so we just were like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "I don't think he's real." And we were like, "Well, what do you think happens with your presents?" And he said, "I think the elves are magic and bring the presents." And we were like,
Oh, sounds great.
"Okay,
Yeah. That's
cool.
You're like, no, that's not true at all. It's Santa.
It
Like
is Santa."
no, that's like yeah, like it's yeah, just I think the coolest part is just giving like as long as they have some kind of magic about Christmas, like that's that's the best part. Like whatever however the presents get there, I, Santa, elves, it's as long as they enjoy the magic of Christmas, I think that is very special and very amazing.
I do like the thought of having somebody else to blame if he doesn't like the
That
presents
is nice, yeah.
and be
Yeah.
like, that damn
Damn,
Santa
Santa, God.
screwed it up.
You even asked him too. You wrote letters. An idiot. He must have had so many other houses. He
But if,
just
yeah, if he knows that Santa's not real and he gets a present he doesn't like, he's just like, we didn't discuss
what
this. Why
are
is
you
this
doing?
here?
Right. No, that so yeah. Well, whenever that happens next year, please fill us in with how that goes because I would love to know what happens.
I think it'll be smooth because the magic stuff has always been not sitting great with him anyway.
Yeah.
And he already, knows that the thing, elf on a shelf is not magic, that it's just mom having fun. So I don't think it'll be too
Yeah.
terrible. More like nothing you believe in or ever have believed in is not real.
Right. Well, that will be a good 6 month tease, as well as the tease that I always tease before the end of our shows of the crying at funerals. So we'll save that for the next episode. I know that's how we like to
Yes, I
end.
can't wait to hear about the funeral.
I'm very excited. Well, maybe in therapy I'll talk about it, and then I'll talk about it on the pod. But Nicholas, thank you so much for this amazing episode. You are amazing, and I fully support you in any endeavor you ever do. And I love you so very much. And this was a wonderful episode. Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers to you. Happy therapies.
Happy therapies. Clink and a scene.
Clink. See.
Beautiful